A man who was infected with contaminated blood as a child in the 1970s has been speaking of the devastating effects on his life. The public inquiry into what's been called the worst treatment scandal in the history of the NHS heard evidence in Belfast today. Contaminated blood is thought to have caused the deaths of at least 3,000 people across the UK in the 1970s and 80s. Our health editor Hugh has more.
Paul says he and his family have always lived under a cloud. A haemophiliac, he got hepatitis C after treatment with infected blood products. He lives in fear of other conditions developing. His brother, also a haemophiliac, died with liver cancer.
Still clouds coming and there's still a lot of unknowns. And it's a fear and it'll live with me. Deep down, I remember saying to my wife, my first objective in life was to outlive my brother. So he died at 51.
The inquiry's come to Belfast to hear stories like Paul's. It'll move on to other cities around the UK. He says he's been mocked about his condition, so speaking out today was a big step.
It reinforced the fact that you have to be so private about your health, and this major decision for me here do I go. It's the first time I've told my story publicly, and that's been massive. I've worked with good people for 30 years, and most of them don't know this.
Campaigners say there are still big differences in the financial support available to victims around the UK, and that's unfair and must be urgently addressed. The government at Westminster made more money available to bring England in line with Scotland, but Northern Ireland and Wales are still lagging behind. It's an issue the judge chairing the inquiry wants to see resolved. He and his team will continue hearing personal stories here over the next 3 days. Hugh, BBC News, Belfast.